Welcome, Collective, to Timeless Energy. I'm Barbara, and this is a general timeless reading. Okay, now first of all, I'm going to be pulling an oracle card. The Runes Oracle is what I will be using today. I will be pulling 3 cards from the cat. The cats rule the Earth Tarot. There we go. Picture of the box. Cats rule the Earth Tarot, which was a gift. And then I have a clarifying oracle, which we're going to pull a couple of. This is from Pam Grout and Colette Barnard Reed. The Oracle of Eve. So we're making a few changes. Just bear with me. There's the one deck here I have never used, and we are a work in progress. So let's see. Let's start with the Runes Oracle. We need one card. One card for the Runes Oracle. My candle just went out. I did pre-smudge everything. But my candle went out. It was like 112 degrees today. Okay, Spirit, guide me. We need one oracle card from the Runes Oracle. Spirit, guide me. Spirit, guide me for Timeless Energies read today. Spirit, guide me for Timeless Energies. And there we go. Was the Runes Oracle. Canals. The symbol is the flame and the convalescent. The interpretation is the opening, the mystery of regeneration through death. It is the rune of the artist, the craftsman, and the magician. I do believe I've had that rune card before. But that's a good start. I'm going to pull 3 cards for the Timeless Energy today. Spirit, guide me. Spirit, guide me. Ask for protection and guidance. Spirit, guide me. Spirit, guide me. Ask for protection and guidance. I have the 8 of Wands. It's our first card. 8 of Wands is a solar chakra energy. Spirit, guide me. Protection and guidance for our message for Timeless Energy today. Spirit, guide me. Spirit, guide me. Okay, our second card is the Knight of Wands. And one more card for the Timeless Energy message. Spirit, guide me. Spirit, guide me. Spirit, guide me. One more card for the message for today's Timeless Energy. Spirit, guide me. Spirit, guide me. The Chariot. A major arcana. Good. Now, let's take a look here. This is a cat deck, by the way, which was a gift. I've used it twice so far. You're not familiar with this. I will be working this deck in. But the 8 of Wands in the cat deck, this is the solar chakra. The Knight of Wands is the heart chakra. And the Chariot is the throat chakra. Now, the thing that I can see right away, all 3 of these cards have something to do with movement or travel of some kind. So this is a very strong energy with movement or travel right out the gate. That is immediately what came up. Was the Eight of Wands in the upright, pushing situations forward. Now, the energy has been a little slow lately. We all know that Venus has been in retrograde, and I believe still is in retrograde. Normally, a 40-day period of Venus in retrograde, so there might have been some slow movement in anything that had to do love-related, or maybe projects that you love to work on related, or things that you love to do related to things that you love to do, because Venus has been in retrograde. So, if you're waiting for something to start, the Eight of Wands is going to be a welcome card. This is, things in a situation going swifter or faster. If you're trying to sell a house, you'll sell it faster. Your deadline might appear faster. If you've been experiencing any kind of setbacks, you see the Eight of Wands, those setbacks or delays will like vanish or dissipate, and things will start to move again. But this is actually, for the most part, travel energy. The person who wants out and about, it could be a delivery person, it could be a salesperson who travels, it could be dropping off the kids, or going to work, or traveling to the grocery store. Maybe you're doing it more often for one reason or another. This has to do with traveling. The energy is very strong with the travel. Of course, things can move forward that have been slowed down, that are not connected to travel. But I am focusing on the subject of travel because all three of these cards signify travel energy. And I will emphasize, this could be short trips. Everyday, run-of-the-mill short trips that don't seem important, but that you do on a regular basis. Maybe you have slowed down on your trips to the grocery store, but you have company coming, and you are stocking up on something, or there's a sale. Maybe you have slowed down on your short trips or vacations because of the economy, and you are planning a vacation of sorts, or maybe you were working for a temporary service and you have been laid off for a short period, and suddenly you get a work order in, and so you've got to get up and travel to a job that you haven't had to do for a while. Whatever it is, the energy is whatever has been slowing down, connected to needing to travel or wanting to travel, is going to be loosening up a little bit. So the travel energy is definitely there. Now, with your chakra, which is the soul, this has to do with goals that you have. It can do with willpower. It can have something to do with health. But I always go for the goals, because that's the one that's sticking out. You have goals or plans, and especially if things have been slowed down a little bit and you haven't been able to work on those projects, we're emphasizing goals. If the goals have to do with the Eight of Wands, you're dealing with the energy of Sagittarius, and you're dealing with the energy of Mercury. Now, I try to specifically focus on energy with timeless energy, but you could be dealing with a person who's a Sagittarius, or you could be dealing with a person who has a lot of Sagittarius in their natal chart. Well, Mercury is automatically communication with me. With Sagittarius has Jupiter. It is extroverted. It has to do with travel. It has to do with hating routine. And with Mercury, you're communicating this energy in some way. Now, With the Mercury, you could also be dealing with health. So you could be traveling for health reasons. Either you got sick and you have to go to the hospital, or somebody else is sick and you are traveling to spend time with someone that you know who's sick. Okay, this could also be trickster energy. And I don't see trickster in anything else here. But keeping in mind the Mercury communication can be in a certain level. Somebody who's not maybe filling you in completely with all the details. But it does have to do with outdoors. It does have to do with your special interests, your personal goals, and traveling. You don't have time for other people's problems. That is the energy of the Sagittarius in this Eight of Wands. So you're basically focused on your goals, the things you want to do. You don't have time for other people's feelings, other people's problems. You are specifically focusing on the things that you need to do. And the trickster energy in the communication can be that maybe you're not filling somebody in with all of the details for one reason or another. And you have the right to do that. We all do. And don't we hate it when it turns around and that's actually being done to you. But you did not have a problem doing it to someone else. But that is the way the world is. Now the next card is the Knight of Wands. Your Knight of Wands is your heart energy. Your heart energy is your feeling free to expand. You have diversified interests. It could be love relationship because heart is a heart, right? And we have Venus in retrograde. But the heart energy is focused more or less on things that you have an interest in, things that you love, not necessarily relationships or people, because not all of us are lucky enough to be in a relationship. Some of us fill our times with job-related things, projects that we love to do. In some cases, the domestic engineer, who probably won't admit that they love what they're doing, they fill their time with the things that need to be done, and they might not love what they're doing, but they do certainly love the result of what they've spent their time on. So the heart energy is having to do with more what you're focusing on that you are enjoying yourself doing. Now this can be a toxic type of thing where you're doing something with your free time that's not actually going to benefit you ever and is a complete waste. It is all a personal thing as far as you perceive it or look at it and what you want to do in it. Most certainly depends on your age group or what your deadlines are or what your needs or your goals are. So it depends on individually every single person. And going over that, again, the Knight of Wands, it symbolizes changes, it symbolizes travel. In some cases, if it's strong enough, the Knight of Wands could symbolize the subject of relocation. Now, the Knight of Wands is actually one of the cards which would be bringing up the difficulty of adjusting to changes. The Knight of Wands would be a card that would be advising us to, if we're going to be taking a trip that we need to prepare or have preparations for. If it's in a challenging position, this is in the center of the message. We're asking to stop for a moment and have a sound plan laid out and make sure that there are preparations for anything that you might come up against, especially if the traveling is a long trip on open road with no gas stations. You want to have a certain amount of safety whatevers. Unlike the Queen that I pulled yesterday, which was shouting the word hydrate, the Knight of Wands is shouting the word prepare, or be prepared. If you have plans and you know when those deadline dates are, being prepared in advance is actually a good energy to have. But again, we are shouting changes, travel, relocation. Now, the relocation energy could be a conversation about something in the future. The travel could be plans that you're making for a short trip over the weekend. And again, travel could be symbolizing a trip to the store to get something that you need to prepare for something. It could be a short trip. Was the energetic thing about the Knight of Wands is the excitement that is in the card, where you've been going through a period of things slowing down, or maybe not being able to do what you're planning on doing, and now here's the moment, you're all excited about it. This is the excitement of the night. We're all excited. We've done whatever we needed to get through, and the date is coming right up to us where we can do something that we're really going to enjoy, and we're really, really, really excited. So this travel definitely looks, with two of them in a row, some type of vacation or trip. And with the heart chakra connected to this, it is something that you love to do. It could be that the person who's taking the trip just loves to drive, in other words, or it could be that somebody taking the trip is looking forward to where the trip is taking them to. Maybe they are excited, they've had a vacation, they're going home, or maybe they have been through a whole year of the necessities and doldrum of the day-to-day, and they're taking a trip on a vacation. But again, reiterating, travel and travel energy. With the solar plexus, that you do have goals or plans, so this is something that is planned in advance, that there's some excitement, and it's something that you love. It's connected to something that you love, not necessarily a person, something that you love to do. It could be love for the home if you're returning to a home. It could be love for the place that you've been waiting to take a vacation to. It could be love for simply being behind the wheel of the car and taking the trip. But whatever, it is all about travel here. Now the thing about it is, this Knight of Wands is also the Sagittarius energy. And it's coupled with Mars. So that is your conflict or difficult situation. This is the warning. The Mars in that situation right there, where you want to make sure that the preparations are being done and taken care of in the right way. The plans for the trip, or whatever needs to be laid in place for whatever the plans are. But the Sagittarius is again travel. It also is, you don't have time for other people's problems or how they feel. You are specifically focused on your goal or what you're doing. It has to do with travel. This could have to do with health to a certain extent, but not physical, mental health. This could have something to do with health. Okay, maybe somebody's having anxiety, or maybe someone around you is dealing with some kind of anxiety. But in this energy, you don't have time for other people's problems. You really just don't. The Jupiter in the Sagittarius, hey, it expands the energy that you hate the routine, or maybe you've been doing the routine long enough and you're ready for a break. You want the freedom, and you don't have time for other people's problems. You really, really don't. Now with the Mars, okay, die for the cause. This could be aggressive energy with the Mars. It's a strong energy, but it is This is planned, die for the cause. This is what we're doing, irregardless, hell or high water, no matter if the sky falls on our head the night before we load our luggage into the car. This is what's going to be happening. Okay, this is very aggressive energy with the Sagittarius. And coupled with no time for other people's problems. And 2 travel energies, side to side. Now lastly, the 3rd card in our message, because we need all 3 cards for a complete message. And the first thing that I did see was all 3 cards actually were shouting travel, the Chariot. What else would the Chariot mean if it doesn't mean traveling? The Chariot is a vehicle, right? It is a card of progress. Okay. Now, this can be overcoming obstacles. And when we're talking about being prepared for any kind of relocation or travel, there might be 1 or 2 obstacles in the way of making those preparations. And this card talks about overcoming these obstacles. Now, you could triumph over these obstacles. This might be putting the concerns into perspective, okay? Now remember with the word perspective that you are looking from your perspective and not necessarily are we in a habit of ever looking at a subject or a situation from another person's perspective. You'd really have to know a person pretty well, which is rare to begin with, to be able to step into their shoes and look from their perspective at something. And to be honest, perspective is in your head, so it could be, maybe you're right, but it is basically your point of view, your opinion. But this is overcoming obstacles. It also has to do with traveling. And if it's in a challenging position, so we do mention fear sometimes with this card. And this could be related to surviving through difficult childhood or difficult marriage, and you're overcoming these obstacles, and you're traveling into a situation where you know you will be making a commitment. I don't think that energy would apply here, because travel definitely looks like some kind of vacation or relocation. But in some situations, with the choices that we make as a person, always have to do with difficult things that happen in our childhood, or difficult things that happen when we're in relationship. And that can have an impact on plans that are made when we're talking about traveling or relocation. In this energy here, it is shouting preparation. So you know what? You can defeat any obstacle as long as you are prepared for anything. And this is organizing a route as well. So you've got 2 energies here that are saying organization and preparation are the way to overcome the anxiety or fear connected to the changes that are being made. So if it's a short vacation, be prepared by putting, basic things in your car. If the travel is something bigger than that, then if there are obstacles, you need to be prepared to look at this situation from the perspective of another person, and be prepared to have to overcome certain obstacles. And this is aggressive, but this here, the Chariot, is sensitive. It's not aggressive. This is a sensitive energy of Cancer and the Moon. So see, this is something that is inner self hiding underneath a shell. This is maybe mood swings or involuntary emotional reactions to things that you're not handling very well. Okay, this is overcoming obstacles, but you're dealing with a sensitive energy, where here you're dealing with an aggressive energy. Die for the cause. This is going to happen. This is the way it is, regardless of how you feel. I don't care about other people's problems or how you feel. This is what we're doing. And this is the sensitive energy of being secretive, being shrewd. This is also a very unforgiving energy, okay? And secretive in a way. Unforgiving and secretive. But we have inner self here. This is something that's hidden inside a person's heart. Something they don't usually come out with verbally. It specifies overcoming obstacles. And in some way, if it's something that you're having a hard time dealing with, you personally could you could get over your own obstacles if you do your own inner work on how you feel. But that is an inner self thing. It is not something that you share. It's something that you hide. But you're dealing with an aggressive energy that basically says, I don't really care. This is the way that it's going to work out, and this is why it's going to work out. And you know what? Get with the program. Alright? So the moon energy would create a situation here where your inner self might be somewhat sensitive, that you might have obstacles that you might need to overcome on an inner conflict type of thing. Involuntary emotional reaction to what you have no control over. This is mood swings, but it also is shouting out the chariot, the vehicle, the travel, the plans. Now, it's not in reverse. Venus is in reverse. Venus in retrograde. We are currently in retrograde with Venus. So whatever it is that you love would be in retrograde. So maybe what is going on is preventing you from doing what you really wanted to do, or what you really, had a great deal of love for, maybe, and making changes that you're not comfortable with. But with this chakra, the throat chakra of this card, which is a communication card in a way, the throat chakra is a communication card that says you can express yourself in many ways. Now, expressing yourself in many ways doesn't necessarily mean you're being completely honest to someone about everything and how you're feeling. It also doesn't mean that you're being completely honest about all the details of what you're doing. Because you've got the secretive energy here of the Cancer energy, which is shrewd and secretive. So maybe you said, oh yeah, I'm going out, but you just forgot to mention that, certain things were going to be happening when you go out, and you just forgot to include somebody in those plans and didn't mention it because you didn't want them to invite themselves. That would be actually the shrewd and secretive energy there of, like, the throat chakra of, hey, you can express yourself with the throat chakra, and you have a really easy time having that communication. But that doesn't mean that all of the details have been, shelled out into the plate. That means information was on a need-to-know basis, and a person got told basically just about as much as they needed to be told for one reason or another, and the rest of it got left out. That's not lying, by the way. So this is a shrewd energy of dealing with overcoming obstacles. Maybe the obstacle was that you're going to be doing something. You're going to be traveling to do something. But you don't want to let somebody know all the details about it. So there's your energy there. Sensitive, shrewd, with the moon. Now, the inner self or the inner conflict that you might feel about overcoming that obstacle. But, you know, hey, this is the way you handled it, and this is what appears to be going on here, is that travel, travel, travel. You're going somewhere, you don't want to fill in all the details, or maybe you don't even have them all yet. But you know what? The details will come out at the end of the trip. And at that point, it would be too late for anybody to be disappointed about not being invited to go along. Right? So you overcame that obstacle. In this, where it says preparation for something that is planned. So we might be talking about more than one situation. The energy of the tarot goes on for about a week to 7 days. But we actually could be talking about communication about an event that hasn't happened yet. And if it's in the future, this basically says you need to be prepared. Because the energy right here says, I am not going to worry about your feelings. This is what's planned. You knew about this. You knew about this a long time ago. And if you aren't ready, that's just too bad. We are ready. Today's the day. Let's go. And this one here says overcoming obstacles. Well, you know what? Maybe you don't want to give all the information about what's actually going to be going on. Maybe you're holding back a little bit. You're giving a little tiny bit of information for whatever reason that you might have. But this all relates to traveling, going out. And this could be, again, a long trip, a vacation, a short trip, a relocation, a moving. You're running to the grocery store. And then on the way, and everybody knows you might actually do it, you sit down at a poker machine and lose a couple $100. Okay, it depends on the person you're dealing with. You know what? Hey, you don't need to tell them what you're doing when you go to the store, right? Okay, so you squeeze that little bit in. Or maybe you're running out to grab some lunch and treat yourself, and everybody's sitting at the house, swimming in the pool. But you forgot to mention that you met this guy, and he's going to be sitting across the table from you. But you didn't want to say that. Okay, this could be any number of things. But all three of these energies have to do with movement and travel. In one card, it does mention relocation or future planning for, and that is an important thing. I'm going to reiterate that Venus, when I'm doing this read, is in retrograde. So, working on anything that you love to do might be hard to get around to. Working on something that you love to do might not be as profitable as it normally is. Or waiting for something that you really, really love, like somebody that you want to spend time with to walk through the door, that might be a little slower than normal. But this is loosening up, at least, with the travel energy, which is, we are excited, we're done with the routine and the daily sitting around this place. Let's go, let's do that. This is the energy that I see. Now, this is the opening and the mystery of regeneration. And it does have to do with artist, craftsman, and magician. And the magician is a communication card. So the opening, the regeneration, the starting up after death or up to death, okay? The process of. So this could cover the convalescence of. And like I said, I did see health in a couple of these, but it didn't stick out to me. And I didn't see anything tragic, like a loss of any kind, in this particular read. And I'm not feeling anything like that specifically right at this particular moment. I definitely see the shouting out of the travel. Now let's reinforce the Eight of Wands, the Knight of Wands, and the Chariot with one of the E Oracle cards. Now, I have never actually used the E-Oracles, but with the Eight of Wands, we have Sagittarius, and we have Mercury, and we have travel, and we have talked about that. So let's clarify the Eight of Wands, since they're all very similar, and there's an energy here. Let Spirit guide me to give me one card to clarify the Eight of Wands in today's timeless read. We are definitely very sticky. One card to clarify the Eight of Wands in today's timeless read. One card, please, Spirit. One card. Oh, there we go. With the Eight of Wands, I got solar powered. Solar powered. Card number 3, solar powered. These are new. I've never used them before. They look interesting, but I'm going to read the book. We already know what the Eight of Wands means. But solar powered is here comes the sun. Clear, beautiful light is shining on everything right now. All you need unfolds easily before you. Decisions are a snap as you dance into the ease of your own power, of your own unlimited connection to the universe. You can bask in this, knowing that light shines on everything you need to know. And remember what I said with the Eight of Wands when we first opened up the read. With the Sagittarius and the communication of Mercury. Travel. That things have been slowed down for quite a bit. You've been doing the routine thing, and you were looking forward to travel energy, travel energy, travel energy. And I saw that. So this is the sun coming up. This is the things breaking free, loosening up, getting prepared, going forward to whatever it is, the plans that you've made. Now, I could be talking to a lot of people, so I don't know what specifically the plans that you've made are. And my nose just itched. Maybe Grandma told me something about when your nose twinkles like that there's some meaning to it, but we're not going to mention that. Spirit, guide me for another. There we go. Oh my goodness. Clarifier card for the Knight of Wands. Hasta la vista, baby. Oh my goodness. Hasta la vista, baby. For the Knight of Wands was the Sagittarius energy and the Mars energy. This was the die for the cause. This was, you don't have any time for other people and their problems. Die for the cause. You have made plans, irregardless of what is going on, whether you are ready or not. Those plans are going to happen. Now, this card says, remember that song Queen Elsa sings in the Disney movie Frozen when she unleashes her magic? If you didn't catch this animated flick, it's time to let it go, walk away, and just like you never look back at the trash can, you leave at the curb. Don't give it a second glance. It's time for new beginnings, out with the old and in with the new. Now that's pretty solidly permanent sounding. When we knew we had travel, and it can, with the Knight of Wands, symbolize relocation. Now I pointed out the relocation because I myself am actually going to be moving from what I've been told. Changes can be radical and they can make you very uncomfortable. and overcoming obstacles. When I said that information there, I was actually talking personally about my own personal growth and feelings about overcoming those obstacles. But this is hasta la vista, baby. This is permanently gone. Ready to go. Be ready. The plans have been made. Whether you're prepared for it or not, die for the cause. I am going, and I'm not in the mood to deal with trivial matters or other people's problems. This is the Knight of Wands that changes and travel, shouts relocation. Now this is driven by passion, because this Knight of Wands has the Mars energy. But this seems permanent. This doesn't mean like vacation and short trip to the store. This could be aversion, where you actually plan on walking out the door when somebody comes home and staying out like way late so that you just don't have to be in the same house with them at the same time when they're around. This is definitely the energy of I don't want to have anything to do with you, or I am packing up my bags and leaving permanently. And this does say relocation. Irregardless of the feelings of what is actually happening in your life, or what is actually going to happen, or what is actually planned to happen, nothing is set into stone. Very interesting that that card jumped out in the center spot like that. Now the Chariot was the third card, so let's pull an E Oracle for a verifying card. We do hope that some of you resonate, but if you don't resonate with this, please do not try to make it yours. If you do not resonate with this, please do not try to make it fit. One card for the E, for the Chariot position. One card for the E, for the Chariot position. And here we go. There we go. Brand spanking new. Brand spanking new. Well, that's an interesting message there. With the Chariot. Okay, well, we are like, the opening could be the beginning. Okay? It does have to do with death, and after that, there usually is a new beginning. Brand spanking new. You know how it feels after a fresh rain. Everything is pure, clean, washed to its precious, beautiful core. You just want to stick your nose in the air and take a big whiff. That's your life right now. There is not one blemish, not one flaw. It's a perfect 10. That is going with the Chariot. That is going with the Chariot. And the Chariot has to do with overcoming obstacles, the ability to experience success. You have survived difficult childhood or a bad marriage, and you're moving on. The Chariot with is a person who desires to persevere over all of the things from the past and start over fresh. And you are triumph over adversary. Okay? Putting your problems into perspective. But in this case, the Chariot moving forward, only the luckiest of individuals will manage in this energy. So this isn't going to be for everybody. Brand spanking new means walking away from everything in the past, or everything that you've discarded, and just like starting fresh all over. Now you're going to walk away and just leave everything behind you. Are you going to start that way? Because this energy is actually going to be maybe for the next 4, 5, 6, or 7 days. Is that travel going to be happening in those next 4, 5, 6, 7 days? And are you dealing with a hasta la vista, baby energy? Goodbye forever and not coming back. Or I won't be back. Or, it's been nice. Thank you for everything. Okay. Yeah. Alright. So, it could be any number of things. But whatever it is, the new perspective, brand spanking new, walking away from the old, I guess somebody's going to be doing some shopping. And with the Cancer energy of being sensitive, and the Moon energy of being in yourself, things that you are actually being secretive about, things that a person could actually be shrewd about, and maybe secretive about sharing certain information about what they're going to be doing. This is inner self. But it looks like whatever it is, it's going to be brand spanking new. To start off fresh, to get over all those obstacles or whatever it was in the past that you want to disassociate with. And good luck for anybody who thinks just washing their hands and throwing that towel away is going to lead them to something different and better. At my age, I have found out throwing away the past is a really, really quick way to quickly reliving it. And usually it doesn't come out in your favor when you relive it. And there's a reason for that. Because we are meant to learn from our past. Now, this might not be talking about brand spanking new as far as discarding the past, the memories. With the cat history, this would indicate letting it flow in many directions. It could also be allowing it to be wasted on unimportant matters, but letting it flow in many directions. Exciting new opportunities. That is specifically for the cat energy. And this one here, the need for excitement. Okay? So, letting it flow, spreading it out, the need for excitement. Okay. And this one here, victory, small or large. After many failed attempts, whatever the battle, you're going to prevail. Okay? So this indicates that you have overcome obstacles that you felt you weren't able to do before. And for whatever reason, you have found some kind of success which fuels you into this relocation or this change. So I think we're talking about more than one situation here. We're talking about travel, maybe a vacation. We're talking about small trips, most definitely. We've got travel energy in 3 different cards. But whatever it is, it's a hasta la vista, baby, which means that there's a permanent energy of saying goodbye to something or someone. And brand spanking new, there is a serious energy of starting fresh, letting go of everything. It could be letting go of material things as well as memories, and just starting fresh. But whatever it is, this is all movement forward. I do appreciate you spending time with Timeless Energy today. I really have enjoyed your company. We do break down my videos into small edits that I put out there to remind you all that we are here. I don't know if those edits are reaching you. They're small snippets that lead you right back to the original long video. I am expanding some of my reads with these new cards that are gifted to me. I do appreciate anyone who likes. Definitely by all means, if you are watching me and have not done it yet, press subscribe. We are trying to build my channel. And if you're new to watching Timeless Energy, please help me build my channel. Press subscribe and help me out with that. Okay, any comments, I try to keep an eye out for. I do appreciate any advice or comments, or your opinion is always welcome. And donations. I have a link to PayPal right there that you can make donations with if you want to. They are always welcome. And thank you very much for your time, again, spending time with me and Timeless Energy. I will be making another video very soon, or I have other videos that are saved. You can always go back into my older videos. They are all timeless, and check them out. If this does not resonate with you, I'm sure there will be something that does. And have a nice day until tomorrow.